Canadian racers, make sure your next set of seatbelts and racing suit are from Pro1Safety.ca. Pro1 Racing and Safety Products offer high-quality products made in the USA and now distributed in Canada. Pro1 Canada offers seatbelts, racing suits, helmets, and all sorts of safety accessories for drag racers. See for yourself why NHRA sportsmen world champions such as Bo Butner, Jeff Strickland, the Emmons brothers, Austin Williams, and many more rely on Pro1 Racing and Safety Products. Join the winners. Choose Pro1. Buy high-quality American-made products from your Canadian wholesale distributor at Pro1Safety.ca.
All right. Welcome to the Bracket Life broadcast. You may notice something a little different tonight. It's just me, Andrew Sturck, bringing it to you. Brandon, Barker, and Rachel are in mid-Michigan this weekend, actually right now. And they're having some internet issues. So we're having some issues getting both of us on here at once. So I'm going to do my best to host the show by myself. We threw a couple of guest invites out the last second, had a little trouble getting anyone who was kind of free. So I'm going to rely on the chat a little bit tonight. We've got a lot of results to go on to for the Canadian Countdown. We've got a bit of a review of the Luskville Drag Week. Before I get too far into it, Pro1 Safety Canada is the sponsor for tonight's show. So Pro1 Safety offers racing safety equipment, including seatbelts, harnesses, fire suits. Be sure to shop Canadian and get your safety gear before the season starts. Season started. So if you got any needs you need right now, suggest grabbing some. You can visit their website, Pro1Safety.ca, for more information. Jerome Belleau, I messed that up. Belleau is Montreal's provider of it. He's the one who runs Pro1 Safety. We've got Matt DeVries in Ontario, Travis Ringoth in Western Canada, and I believe there's one out east too. I'm drawing a blank as my notes. I didn't have them in front of me on that one. But if you need any good safety equipment, Pro1 Safety is the way to go about doing it. I've got shoes, I've got gloves. They're great stuff. So I appreciate them for being our sponsor tonight. So I guess what we'll jump into here a little bit is we can get into the Canadian Countdown. I've got a bit of a list. We've had a lot of racing over the last few weeks. There's been some big events. We just had Drag Week. We'll get into that one, which was my first experience out in racing in Eastern Canada, basically Eastern Ontario, not Eastern Canada. Luskville Dragway. Had a great time, went out there for the full week, which started, I believe, the July 23rd, 24th weekend for the first 2 days of it, 3 days off, and then we got into 4 days. So we'll get into the review on that. That was a great time. Enjoyed it immensely. Jason McNeil in Nova Scotia is the other Pro1 Safety provider. So if you're in the Eastern Canada, real Eastern Canada, and need Pro1 Safety equipment, Jason McNeil will be the gentleman to get a hold of. So I'm going to start the Canadian Countdown off with an omission I missed a few weeks ago. So we really love getting great stories about things that have taken place in Canada, events, racers, great weekends. And I really missed one from the Henderson family from St. Thomas. They messaged me, and I feel bad that I missed it there. So back to July 10th, which is normal points weekend for St. Thomas. They run their bracket race series. They had ONDR in the house. So Michelle Henderson, Paul Henderson, Owen Henderson, and Wyatt Henderson. So it's mom, dad, and two brothers. They run two cars, a Mustang and a Pinto, I believe it was, between ONDR and No Box, and had a big weekend. So it starts off with Michelle, who actually runs a Nova in street. She won Street ET and runner-up in ONDR gas on the Saturday. Paul Henderson won ONDR comms all on the same day. Then Owen and Wyatt worked their way through modified, so bottom bulb, and raced each other in the final of modified, with Owen getting the win over brother Wyatt. So that was a big Saturday. I felt bad I missed that. They messaged me after the show, and I just want to make sure I got that error and omission in. But so congratulations to them. That was a fantastic winner circle picture. If you have them online at all or whatnot, there was a group of them there. So great job to those folks. We'll move on to, this will be a bit scattered. So I'm going to jump around. There'll be a couple weekends in here. 660 Top Bulb Nationals at Keystone Raceway Park in Pittsburgh was this past weekend. If you've never been to Pittsburgh or Keystone Raceway, great track, was owned by the Tedescos. I believe it's operated by a different family now, but they do a lot of great races. Been to a lot of bracket finals down there, and really enjoyable place. Casey Kovacs, gentleman who races down. He's from the Cayuga area of the world. Good friend of mine. Went down and cracked him for 15K on Saturday. It was a big win. I think it was over. It's either over Matt Daddis or a Matt Daddis cars. What I saw for the picture, I believe, in the final. But great job by Casey. What a big win. Great to see Canadians win some big races down south racing. Hopefully a lot of our Canadian friends out in mid-Michigan this week can crack them for some money out there. But great big win for Casey. Glad to see it. Hopefully see some more to him. I know he's going to be motivated now to run around. He's going to have a few dollars in his pocket to be able to head south and run a bit more down there too. Move on. We'll go to the GBM, Grand Bend Motorplex. They had their Canadian Nationals this past weekend. So this was the large national event. They had Ironman on the line as well for box, no box, junior, bike sled. It was a big weekend. They had Pro Mod in the house, Nitro Funny Cars, the Peyton Top Fuel team, the dragsters were there. Some of you may have seen it online. There was a memorable moment Saturday night for the Anthill mob. They had a fuel controller go south and caused quite the mess. Huge explosion just offline. No one hurt. Drivers were okay. Aiden was good, but a lot of photography taken on that one. A lot of big pictures for them, unfortunately, for the instance. But from winners there, we've got Spencer Hyde and Pro Mod taking the win over Al Martirino. Top sportsman, Luigiano Raimondo. Picking up a huge win. They have been battling with their top sportsman car for quite a few years, made great strides with it. It was great to see them pick up a win over Luc De Jong in the final of sportsman. They had, I think it was 17 or 18 top sportsman cars going for the 16 spot field. So it was fantastic to see a full field, especially in Canada. Post-COVID, we're still not getting a lot of Americans coming up. There were a few there, but it was fantastic to see that for them. Top dragster, same thing. They had, I think, 17 or 18 going for 16 spots. Gary Basaraba, who I believe is Sudbury, North Bay area, made the trek down. Gary got the car into the field and took the win over Ben Smith. We've talked about Benny a few times on the show this year. He's been having another great season with his dragster. He got the runner-up. Ben's dad, Ed Smith. So they ran the Ironman race over two days. Ed picked up the box Ironman victory over Dean Schwimmler. Schwimmler family had a great weekend. We'll get to that one a little bit later. No box Ironman winner was our buddy Drew Buchner, 660 Nationals promoter, which is coming up in a couple weeks. Drew picked up the win over Brad Gibbs. Bit of a memorable weekend. Drew put big motor back in his car. He has a 565 that he was running. He ended up breaking the motor at 6 cars and 7 cars in Mod and Top. They have a brake rule at Grand Bend for non-points races. He was able to jump into his super stock wagon with the blessing of all the competitors in GBM and managed to take the wagon from, I think, 6 cars on for the W for the Ironman. So that was a big job for him. Great job for him. Bike sled Ironman winner, Tim Michaels over Greg Legg. It was great to see Greg going rounds. The whole mobile RV center race team was at the race. They ended up getting a semi, I think, in the box gambler as well. So great job to those guys. Junior Ironman winner Zoe Gald picked up, I don't know if it was her first Ironman, but I think it might have been. But great for them. So Sunday they ran no box gambler, box gambler. So no box gambler winner was Rodney Gomes over Rob Holden. Box gambler was Luke Schwimmler. Having trouble speaking English here by myself, apparently, over Kevin Stittle. And then there was a runoff, Luke taking the win over Rodney in the combo final. Madison DeJong over McKenna Veldman. McKenna is in her second year running junior. She did a fantastic job. Great to see her going rounds. I think she's had a win and a runner-up earlier this year as well. So they're really progressing well. Congratulations to her. We will jump east, a little bit east, to Napierville. Weekend before this, they had their NHRA Division I National Open. So this was a couple weeks after Cayuga's NHRA National Open. Saturday Super Combo winner, Eric Stroud. I believe that's his first win in the Roadster since he jumped into it. Sunday Super Combo winner, Charlie Knopik. Charlie's run around number 3 in the world. So in Super Gas, great job by him. Super Stock, Kelly McKay, or Stock Super Stock combo. Kelly McKay is a Saturday winner. Sunday was Renee Gosselin. We've got Super Pro was at Naperville as well. Richard Arnold picked up the win on Saturday for an Wally. So congratulations to Richard. Top Sportsman, Top Dragster combo. This was run over 2 days, qualify Saturday, race Sunday. Nathan Hoskin, relative to our own Brandon Barker, with a big W. I think that was his first Iron Wally, NHRA Wally, first NHRA Wally. Runner up was Blake Sutton. We've talked about Blake this year. Blake was having another great run. He went out there with his dragster and picked up the runner up there on it. Juniors, Maverick Angers with the Saturday win. Logan Angers with the Sunday win. So great to see the Angers pick up some wins there before they trek to Luskville the next weekend. And then they did run Pro Modified out there. Toronto's own Ray Camiso picked up the win. I believe it was over Kenny Lang from Manitoba. So all Canadian final there. Was great to see them. Those are both Billis tuned cars, I believe, as well. So we've got both those cars in the final. Great job. We will move on to, we're going to throw St. Thomas in here. So at the same time that the national event was running at Grand Bend, our buddies in the ONDR, the Ontario Nostalgia Drag Racers, were running down at St. Thomas. So I wanted to include them. We don't often get their results in, but since they were running this weekend, Nostalgia Hot Rod, Dan Rice picked up the win on Saturday. Nostalgia Gas, Paul Horvath. Nostalgia Comp, Chris Polanic in a 64 Fairlane. Chris, just a couple weeks ago, picked up a Wally at the National Open at Cayuga. So they've got a great run going this year. Glad to see them doing real well. Sunday's results, we've got Barry Lee in a 68 GTX with the win in Nostalgia Hot Rod. James Kovacs, 63 Dodge in Nostalgia Gas. James, great driver. Foot brakes the car. I don't think, last year he didn't have a tack in the car. Hand shifts it on sound. And puts up deadly packages. Great to see James with the win. Nostalgia Comp, Luke Myers got the win. And then they ran a Gamblers race. Eric Marsh ended up winning the Gamblers race on the Sunday for ONDR. We will continue moving on. We're going to move out east. And forgive me, my notes are a little bit all over the place. I've got some here, I've got some there as I was trying to get everything from Brandon. So hopefully they're listening all right out in Michigan. He was telling me they were just trying to dry the track to get ready for tomorrow. Tomorrow's, I think, the first day of the big race out there. So we're going to go to Nova Scotia. NHRA National Open this past weekend. It's the third of the 3-part Canadian National Open series. So we've got, and forgive me as I pull this around, Miramichi Friday, NHRA race number 1. So Super Street, Chad Ramsey over John Ranke in 1090. And out there, actually, they get to run. So they don't run a super combo. They run in each class individually. So Super Street, Super Comp, Super Gas. Super Comp, Dwayne Simon over Tyson Cowie. Super Gas is James Cowie, Tyson's dad, over Glenn McLaren. And Super Stock, Jeremy Keynes over Mike Ingram. Top Sportsman, Top Dragster combo, Larry Cormier, which was a huge celebration for the Castrol sponsored entry. Apparently it was a big win for those guys over Dave Anthony. Junior Dragster winner was Alexander Kelly over Jax Goodwin. Saturday, race number 2 of the National Open. Super Street winner is Richard Boyd. This is a great one. 50 years racing. Finally got his first Wally. And that kind of backs up a little bit of a theme this year when we had Steve McCarrick, American friends of ours up at Cayuga, pick up his first win, as well as Larry Pulver. So great to see the hard work and dedication paying off for racers this year. So just congratulations. John Rankin was the runner-up. In Super Comp, Justin Cummings over Peter Carr. Super Gas, we've got Benny Niest. Sorry if I butchered that one. Over Ray Bork. Super Stock, Kelly McKay over Jeremy Keynes. 2 finals for Keynes. 32 car field. It's a pretty good showing out in that part of the world. I know a lot of our Western friends out this way didn't make the trip out east. I think with just some scheduling. There was a super stock race going on at Cayuga this weekend as well as part of the SmackDown with Ian Hill. We'll get to the results probably on the next podcast on that one. I didn't get the wrap up from that one yet, but I don't want to leave those folks out. It was a big money race for Superstock. So we'll get them in the next one. Continuing on Miramichi, top sportsman, top dragster combo, Dave Anthony over Dave Powell. Both finalists all the way from Newfoundland. I'm not very good at geography, as has been evident by some previous episodes and not knowing where my Great Lakes are. But I'm going to take that's a bit of a hike. There's probably also a ferry involved in there, if I'm not wrong, to get across. Could be wrong. Maybe someone can update us in the comments who's out that way. But that would be neat. No box. Colin Stretchney over Carl Lehman, junior dragster Alexander Kelly. Second win of the weekend for Alexander over Jax Goodwin, who had second runner-up of the weekend. Sunday ADRA results. Justin Cummings over Brett Ramsey. Wyatt Rankin over Aaron Crow. Sportsman winner Wyatt Rankin. Double up, 2 classes, same car. Great job, Wyatt. Over Christine Lima. Bike sled, Mike O'Neill over Glenn Frizzle. Junior dragster had Gavin Posabone over Bryson McNeil. Apparently these guys are cousins, 1 and 2 in the ADRA points chase. So congratulations to those guys. Family racing family. Prize packages for the ADRA points chase include Bracket Life brand Wild Willie's Wild Willie's fuel fragrances, Pro One safety equipment, and JBN racing package. So congratulations to all the winners from there. Forgive me, a little bit of a gloss over this week as I was trying to get the notes there. I hope I covered everyone's names correctly and didn't leave anyone out too badly. And the prize packages on that one. We will jump back to the race I was at. So we ended up out at Luskville for the Bracket Bonanza / Drag Week. Had a fantastic time. Really enjoyed it. We went out for the 2-weekend deal, drove out Friday, got to the track. So I'd never been to Luskville. Seen lots of pictures, had lots of friends who've run out there. Rolled out there and was shocked at just how well the track worked. From the moment I unloaded the car from the trailer to the moment I parked it on Sunday, unfortunately, a little earlier than I wanted. The track worked fantastic. Arnie and Derek, Malcolm and Diane do a great job keeping that place looking great. The new surface they've laid down is fantastic. It has teeth. I was just unbelievably impressed when we got there as to how well it worked. Scraped it every day and glued it, sprayed it. I mean, great job by all. Grass was cut, place was clean. Unbelievable job. So we'll find the results here on it. I might have gone too far. So the opening weekend was the Dave Rennie Auto Care bracket race. The little bracket on Saturday, junior, was Leah Monahan over Cole Krotner. Semi-pro was Eric Monahan over Lawrence William. Super Pro Saturday winner. So this was for 5K. Mr. Mike Ogilvy over Darren Frazo, door car dragster final. Mike's car was flying, going 450s, 460s. Darren was just killing stuff on the door car side. So it was a great final round. Saturday night, we had a door car shootout. Kyle Jessup over Mike Chenier. All Corvette final. Kyle in the Roadster. Dave in the Corvette door car. Dave's car's flying. Give you an idea of how good the track was. Chenier's car was going 5.0s and was just on rails. Not to be outdone, Kyle's Roadster was 5.30s and the thing was just killing it. Had a bit of a rain delay. They cleaned up the track, got it dry. Everyone came off the trailer and some fast equipment went down the track. So very impressive for the door car shootout. Sunday, unfortunately, we had some rain issues. So Super Pro never ran on the Sunday, but we did run juniors. We did run semi-pro. Leah Monahan over Cole Krotner for the Sunday. Larry Lepin over Eric Monahan in semi-pro. Super Pro guys kept stuff in the equipment in the trailer. I give Luskville credit. They got the race in. I think the rain hit like 20 minutes after semi-pro final went down the track. It was a greatly executed. I give them tons of credit. So 3 days off, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. The track had various activities planned. There was a hike into the mountains. If you've been on my Facebook, you've seen some of the pictures I posted there. Amazingly scenic place. Quite amazing. You're right near the Ottawa River, and you're right beside the mountains. Kind of neat deal. So they did a hike up in the mountains. I believe there was go-karting on Tuesday. There was a fairly infamous golf tournament on Wednesday that I think was enjoyed by everyone who went, and most of us who heard the stories about it enjoyed it afterwards as well. But we get into Thursday, which was the start of the Bonanza weekend. So that was the big dog shootout on Thursday. Semi-pro ran and super pro ran. Semi-pro, Dan Pelowin with the picked up the win. Super pro saw dragster door car final. Adam Bizantis, the destroyer, destroyed the competition. It's probably not a great. It's a bit of a pun there, I guess. My apologies. Julie Dubé in red Corvette Roadster was just killing it. She was the runner-up. They ran a 3:30 shootout. So to kind of paint the picture on this one, the 3:30 shootout was exactly as the name was. It's a 3:30 bracket race for big cars. I know the juniors have run it. Others have said that they've seen it, right? So this was a lot of fun. Dale Gauthier over Trevor Deeks, good buddy of ours out in London. Trevor and Brad made the trip out with us. Well, not with us, but made the trip out like us and came off the trailer and picked up a runner-up on the 3:30 shootout. Congratulations to Dale. Dale was struggling on Thursday. We were picked beside each other, and we had some conversations, and he was quite motivated to get that shootout win and turn the luck around this weekend. So Friday kicks off the first of the Super Tour races. The Friday race was actually a rescheduled event from the Sunday of iCar from earlier in the year. So it made it essentially 4 days in a row for 10 grand. I think the final for the big dog was something like $11,000 or $12,000 to win. And then Friday was 10 grand. So the junior portion, Audrey Alarie over Samantha Chatwood in juniors. Semi-pro, Russ Fraser over Ivan Gore. Super pro, Bill Carling over Dominic Cicerelli. Big win for Bill. He's gone some rounds up at Elliott Lake, I believe, the week before. And it was great to see him pick up a win. Very excited. Interesting winner circle, to say the least. It was a lot of fun for most in attendance. For others, it was maybe a little too much fun. But great job for Bill. We can move on from there. Golf cart race. Also, I don't want to gloss over this. The bacon party. We had a lot of conversation roll into this. Well, it's not really a bacon party. It was a party with bacon. We joked about this when Brandon and I were talking that there was bacon on the flyer, and I get it. The Angers put on a free party. They bring lots of liquids. There is an unlimited amount of bacon. I think our group probably made multiple trips. I'll leave it at that, maybe. Hot dogs. Fantastic time. And doing all this, I had a golf cart race. I don't know how many entries were in it, but I think it was something like 1,100 or 1,600 to win. It was crazy. Lots of double entries. But Kyle and Megan Jessup, so team race, over Chris Denique and Karen Jessup on the golf cart race. 1,600 to win is what I'm being informed of here on the golf cart race. So that's unreal, isn't it? And so great job, Kyle. So 2 wins on the week at this point for him. You wouldn't know it, but apparently he's a really good driver. Or at least that's what other friends tell me from what I've seen. Saturday, woke up, a little bit of cloud. Track was killer again. I was shocked. I guess I should backtrack a little bit. Friday was probably my best day at the track. Got down to 8 cars in the Corvette. Drove okay. Made some bad decisions on dial-in. Cost me a bit of a race against Rock Bodine. Rock ended up getting down to, I believe, the door car final. So it was great to see him going rounds there. So Saturday, great hook and track. We started off Connor Riddler. So Connor's out our way in London area, maybe St. Thomas, but again, Western Ontario. They made the trek out, and he parks it in the winner circle. Semi-pro, Stefan Valentine, my apologies, over Larry Lepin. Super pro, Brody, I apologize. Bellefue. Anyway, I apologize if I reckon that one. But Brody with a huge win in Super Pro. I believe this was his first Super Tour win in the dragster. It was all the races actually had iron or Wally's involved as well. Huge 10K win for him. Brody's first win ever, I'm just being told as well. So what a way to kick off your first win, tick up 10K on a Super Tour win. Drove the car great all day. Had a big final over Serge Forget in Dorcar. And lots of credit there. Saturday night, I've been to lots of races. Been to Norwalk, Air Show. I've been to big money races. First time in my life I've ever been to a race where they put on a burnout contest. And if you've seen the videos that were posted online, I've got some on my Facebook. The Bracket Super Tour has some on there. You should go check them out. I love this idea. It was a lot of fun. So the second qualifier, second time trial on Saturday, was the qualifier. Jay Bellio went out with a sign, do a burnout. And there was some insane burnouts to qualify for this. There were some folks who have tire budgets that I clearly do not have because they went nuts on it. So they picked 5 out of semi-pro, super pro door car, and super pro dragster to come back after the final round, after Brody's winner circle, to do a burnout competition. It was fantastic. The eventual winner was Kevin Portray. I'm terrible at this. Someone who has announcing skills needs to come on here, please, because I am just dying. But nonetheless, Kevin won it. What a burnout. Carried it out to almost 300 feet after keeping her stationary for forever. Congratulations to Kevin. I believe Kevin's also the supplier of the bacon products for the Friday night cookout. He has promised me the Canadian bracket final race for the Super Tour will have a copious amount, and I am thinking I might just take him up on that if I can get myself out to Eastern Ontario again / Quebec. Sunday, forgive me if this is dragging a little bit. There's a lot of winners and there's a lot of great stories here, so I don't want to miss anyone. Sunday Junior, Samantha Chatwood picking up the W. Congratulations, Samantha, over Connor Riddler. Connor showing that Saturday wasn't any sort of fluke. Drove it all the way to the final rounds. Semi-pro, Jim Giff over Kevin Cardinal. Great final round there. Super pro, new gentleman that I met. Great guy, Screwy Louis Gagne over Mike Chenier. This was Mike's second final of the week. Drove it down in the door car. Louis in his dragster. Mike turned it, I think, 9 red. Louis was like 4 red right behind him. Heartbreaker for Mike, but big win for Louis. This was a rematch of the Elliott Lake final, I believe. And I think Mike got the win up there over Louis. So Louis paying it back. Now, Brandon, Rachel, and Kyle Jessup through the Bracket Life brand put on a 5-day championship for the points. So we unfortunately lost the Sunday for points, so it turned out to be 4 days, but it was a fantastic deal. Stefan Valentin was the win out of semi-pro. Picked up the win. I can't remember how many points it was. It's posted on the Bracket Life page. You can check it out. It was a lot of fun. It was neat to chase points. Some of you know I haven't been chasing points for the last few years locally just because I kind of didn't want to, but it was kind of exhilarating to get back into it. And Saturday night, know that I got an outside shot at the title. I ended up messing that up, by losing, quite frankly, by not picking up the win at all. I needed to, I think, win outright, and Stefan needed to go out early in semi-pro. That didn't happen, but a lot of fun. Congratulations, Stefan. Big thanks to Brandon, Rachel, and Kyle for putting it together. Bracket Life brand 5-day championship. The inaugural one. I know they were excited about doing this again next year. I talked to them all about it, and they could not wait to do this. So this was a lot of fun. Side note, I at least did finish in the top 10 for Super Pro points, so I didn't completely embarrass myself going east. My take on my race out east, as I opened up with, I had a great time. We had so much fun. My wife, my daughter, and my dad joined us by Sunday. They came out a little later than I did. We thoroughly enjoyed it. Spent a few days out in Canada in between the races. I highly suggest, if you've never been to the Bonanza and you didn't make race week this year, plan to do it. It was a blast. It was a great holiday, wrapped up with racing on both sides. The Luskville folks took great care of us. Everyone, to be honest with you, there wasn't a soul there for the week that I didn't see have a great time. The track is set up. There's a kids play area. The racing is fantastic. Can't underline that enough. There's always been so much conversation about East versus West. A lot of talk back and forth about who's better and this and that. I know it's always fun. I got to tell you, it was fantastic competition. It was tight racing. That track kept it tight because it didn't matter whether you were in a door car, a dragster. There was cars going 440s bracket racing. I think Cicerelli on the Friday was a 440 car going to the final round. There was 490 door cars. It was great. We had so much fun. It was super competitive. Trevor Deeks will tell you, Trevor rolled out there and Trevor and Brad went rounds. They were in the late rounds most days, picking up W's. I think Trevor was down to 3 in one of the days there. I didn't have the semi results on that one, but he certainly finished well in the points as well. So if you haven't done this, plan to do it. It's very enjoyable. The Angers put on the Super Tour was a lot of fun. That Bonanza weekend was really enjoyable. So I can't speak high enough of them, of Arnie and the Luskville crew. So, plan to do it in 2023 if you have the opportunity. The only drawback was just trying to get through Ottawa, but I won't let that be a detractor because everyone has the same problem. There are a couple routes, so get a hold of us next year if you want to do that. We'll figure out how to get through there together. But great weekend. I thoroughly enjoyed it. I appreciated everyone. I want to give a shout out to Trevor Tandy as well. When I arrived at the track by myself on the first weekend, Trevor jumped in and showed me the ropes, gave me a hand with everything. My buddy Bob Heens jumped in. I drove both cars by myself, which was the first time I've ever done that, just because I didn't want to give up the chance of getting some run data as we got into the Bonanza. And everyone stepped up and really helped out there. So I appreciate that immensely. All the local racers who were so thankful to see us come out, jumping in, showing me the ropes, explaining what's going on. It was really neat out there. I think Brandon and I talked about it a little bit. They ladder from round 1. So you go onto the website, the Luskville Dragway website, and you will get the door car ladder, the dragster ladder, separate. It's posted, and you can see who your opponent is. You go figure out your lanes, and then you go up to the lanes, together or whatever it is. If you're doubled, you figure out who's going to run first, who's run second. Kind of a neat system. Works really good for smaller car counts. As you get a little bigger, it gets a little congested, but I mean, it made it simple and easy for me to kind of figure out what was going on once we kind of got a handle on it. So shout out to those folks for helping me out. Brandon and Rachel, special thanks to them. They were parked across from me, made sure that I did not make a fool of myself, at least not off the racetrack in trying to get all my stuff figured out. So big thanks to all them. Looking through some of the comments here, forgive me as I'm trying to figure all this out. And there's lots of folks. Thank you for the background comments. I appreciate that. We tried something different. So we've got, and you may notice this, some sound differences on here. We've got some big show equipment now for the podcast. For those who are watching this live, we've got cool backgrounds now. So that's a lot of fun. So things to look forward to coming up. Brando, we got you. Do we have you? I think we got you in here. We're trying to go live from mid-Michigan. We were hoping this was going to work a little better than it has. Internet's been a bit sketchy. I don't have volume from you, sir. I don't believe. Hoping. No. So for those who had the video feed here, we saw Brandon in Michigan for a couple minutes there. So Brandon, Daniel, and Rachel have all gone out there to take a hit at the 50K, the World Super Pro Challenge. Bucket list track. Love to go out there myself one day, maybe next year, providing it's not on top of the Bonanza. They're drying the track right now. Just got the private message from inside. They're working on getting it cleaned up out there. So going to be exciting. I believe, Brandon, tell me in the private chat here, fill me in. I think is it live streamed on the Mid-Michigan racetrack? Yes, it is. Okay, so I imagine, is it Motor Mania that you can catch it on? Drag Race TV. Okay, Drag Race TV. So that's the Warren Evans. Warren Evans on YouTube will be carrying that Drag Racer TV. So you'll be able to catch them. Is there anyone else out there with you? I thought I saw Terry Miron, maybe Russ Adams. Did they make the trek out there as well, or is there anyone else? Wait for him to get back. Joe Piper filling us in on the weather forecast for out there right now. There's some big storms rolling through Michigan. We got some here too, actually. I'm just broadcasting from Orangeville, and huge storms. Hopefully, I think the weather forecast looked better for out there this week. So a bit sporadic out there. So big events coming up. We've got some Canadian friends out in the World Super Pro Challenge. 660 Nationals is coming up. We've talked about that a little bit over the last few weeks. Drew Buchner, Vicky Buchner putting on the 660s at Grand Bend, August 18, 19, 20, 21. Thursday to Sunday race. They've got 10 grand shootouts, I believe, are filled. There is alternate lists. I would suggest if you're not in on that, contact them. They will be able to get you onto an alternate list. There was a few people who pulled out due to some breakage and some issues over the last couple of weeks. So there's a good chance you can get in. That is also the race where they're doing the $20,000 shootout, 16 cars. It is the Bracket Life brand. Brandon's back. We got you. You're under the tower. They'll still think we're getting spotty connection here. Unfortunately, I still can't get you for volume. At least it looks sunny now. I'm seeing something that's a little bit better. Look at that view. For those of you who are watching it live, heck of a view. Mid-Michigan has done a ton of work to fix up their track. Concrete walls, new surface. It's always been a picturesque facility from anything I've seen from the old IHRA days. Brandon was just showing us a little bit of the view there, and I see some sunshine. So there is a hope and a prayer out there. He does confirm Russ Adams and Terry Miron are out there with him. So the 660 race coming up at Grand Bend. There are lots of great events coming up. Travis Ringworth will be joining us in a couple weeks. He'll tell us about the Summer Classic. I missed that event there. I missed the name on that, but he'll fill us in for the winners from his last race. They've got their last classic race coming up at Medicine Hat as well, that I believe they'll be able to do a preview for. I think it's the week after the 660. So we'll have a show between now and then that he'll be able to fill us in on and preview that event. Super excited about that. We've got a ton. There's Luskville's got some big races coming up. I believe there's another race at Rad Torque, Hot Summer Nights, big money race coming up there with one of their shows. A little bit like Norwalk's race. The Honeywell Works weekend is next weekend at Luskville. That's what Brandon fills me in on here. So a lot of the Eastern racers will be heading back there. And I think that's the Dave Rennie reschedule as well, because we didn't get the Sunday in for the 5K. There will have the 5K on one of the 2 days at Luskville. So there'll be a 2,500 minimum and $5,000 minimum race coming up at Luskville. So big racing. A couple weeks from now, we'll be heading to the RCSS race actually at Cayuga. They have an event which will be their 6th and 7th points race in the RCSS series. Great warm-up event going into the 660 race for those of us kind of out this way as well. If you are towards Grand Bend, Windsor Weekend, Chuck Fram, who is running the points racing, bracket racing at Shannonville this season, the Windsor Weekend is his event at Grand Bend. They do a huge race out there for Windsor area racers. There is a high roller race for those of you looking to maybe do 2 weeks out in Grand Bend, weekend before the 660s, and make a destination trip, a bit of a drag week trip for the West. There's an open box, no box combo that's $1,200 to win if you want to make the trek out there before the 660 races. If you've never been out to Grand Bend, very scenic. Beach is close to the track. If this is something that's on the radar and you got some vacation time, would highly suggest running out there. The Windsor Weekend has a lot of heads up races, some great classes, interesting quick 8, and I think there's a small tire shootout as well as 650 index to go along with the Windsor only bracket classes. But there is an open class head out there. The weekend coming up is for Shannonville. I think is a week or two out. There is bonus money. Chuck was telling me for the mod, maybe Super Pro as well. For those east of Toronto, west of Quebec, Shannonville's had a great resurgence this year with Chuck leading the charge, putting together a series out there. So head out there. They've got car counts going up. Chuck has done a fantastic job. The Shannonville racers have really started to come out and support them. So I'm glad to see that. Chuck's a great guy. Glad to see them doing well out there. Brandon's just let me know it's a great East versus West event for the Eastern racers coming up for the 660. The week that we were out is in Luskville. Spent a lot of time talking to some of our Eastern friends, telling them about Grand Bend. If they've never been out there, many of them have been and looking to come back out. Great place to put that East versus West, challenge on the board. I think last year we had a good split actually. I won Saturday. I'm trying to remember who won Friday night's races. If anyone remembers the 660 race, I'm drawing a blank, but it was a good split. Some Shannonville racers did well. Some Luskville racers did well. We had some French Connection racing from Quebec go to final rounds. The Western Ontario racers were well represented. I know Benny Smith parked the car in the winner's circle. Dean Schwimler parked it in for one of the 10Ks. Rock Bodine and Jeremy Van Bastelaar on the bike were the Sunday split and quit in the 7,500. So it should be interesting this year to see kind of how things shake out, where the East, the West, the North, the South. I'm not sure what South would be. I guess that'd be Niagara region, right? That probably this furthest south, even though I know there's Windsor has further south than that. They're going to be a fun race. So if you haven't been to that one, come on out. I said the Windsor weekend before that could be a good tune-up if you're looking to head out to Grand Bend. Lots to do in Grand Bend. The Lake Huron shore, the northern shoreline of southern Ontario, great places to go hang out. Lots to do. London's only about an hour away for those who might be tripping out from the east. Kind of similar to what we did when we went to Luskville. We went to Ottawa for 3 or 4 days and enjoyed that all that Ottawa had to offer. London would be the same. So Brandon has updated me. It was Don Vincelli. That's who won the Friday shootout. I'd forgotten about that. And it was Don and his dragster too, I think, because he brought a door car and a dragster out there. And the dragster was the one he parked in the winner's circle on Friday. So again, good mix. Last year was really enjoyable. Can't wait to do it this year. If you have any questions about the 660 race coming up, you can hit up Drew Buchner on Facebook or message me, message Brandon. Bracket Life, we will either give you an answer to what you need to know or find out what that answer is. But a lot of great events coming up. I think I'm going to probably wrap things up here since I feel like I've hit on most of the things we need to talk about. I really hope you enjoyed the show. I know it was a little bit one-sided with me doing all the talking, a little bit radio-esque. I hope I didn't make a fool of myself. I hope you enjoyed it. Did a great review of Luskville and really enjoyed it. Can't thank everyone out there enough for how much fun we had with that. So really looking forward to it. Looking forward to finding out where the bracket finals for the Super Tour is going to be. I know they're trying to find a venue. That's definitely on my radar if we can make that work. So as Brandon would normally wrap the show up with, Bracket Life Brand, you can follow us on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, TikTok. Hit like on Facebook, hit subscribe on YouTube. I don't have Instagram or TikTok, so I'm going to have to leave that up to folks who have those. I don't know how those work, but they're on there. So find us on there. If you ever need to listen to the show after the fact, we have podcasts. You can find us in all the spots where you can get your podcasts from and be able to listen to the show anytime from anywhere. I've got Bluetooth in my big truck now. I'm listening to podcasts on the road. Great way to do this here. If you folks can't catch us live, catch us on the road on the way to a race. And I will wrap up the show on that note, I believe. So 2 weeks time, we'll be back. We're going to hit up some more recaps on a few races that I missed this week. My apologies for those, but we're going to catch up to that. We'll catch up with Travis. We'll get Brandon back on here, get a recap of the World Super Pro Challenge. Would love to hear about what it's like to be in the winner's circle for a 50 grander like our buddy Jamie Tupper was a couple years ago. So hopefully Brandon or Daniel or anyone else can do that. and we will go with that. So thanks again, everyone. Hope you enjoyed the show, and we will see everyone in 2 weeks with our next episode. All right.
Bracket racing isn't just what we do, it's who we are. It's how we identify ourselves.
What does bracket racing mean to me? It's my life. It's where my people are. My idols, my family, my friends.
Bracket racing is life. Bracket life.